Hello, hold on. I decided at the last second I would have a Pop-Tart. I was not planning on the Pop-Tart. I was like, because we're actually gonna have we're gonna have a pretty big lunch, and I was like, I don't know if I want to have breakfast. I was just gonna have coffee, and then at the last second I was like, no, wait, no, I want one, and then I made one. We were late twice this week.
Yeah.
Man, it's fine. Less than a minute late, so it's not that bad, but still, bad marks against me.
I had to start rice.
Is that your excuse?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're so we made tikka masala earlier in the week, and it created leftovers, and we need to eat those leftovers, but I wanted to eat them with rice. So our plan was to eat them for lunch, and I'd asked Mal if she would start rice. So she did. So at some point in like an hour,
Twinkle, twinkle, little star might play.
Yeah, you might hear a faint beep. So be prepared for that, I suppose. Morning, everybody. It's Thursday. We are a third of the way through the third month. By the time we meet again for the next breakfast stream, we will be halfway through the third month. Time continues to march forward. It's a pretty good time, though. Like, it's like in the scope of time space, March 2021 is a pretty good time. For me, and I think a lot of folks would agree, it's a good time because we're starting to see more and more folks vaccinated, at least getting their first shots, and it's a reminder that we are continuing.
Some numbers go down and the good numbers go up.
That's, yes. The thing that, talks to our ape brains and is like, number go down, number go up, and we're like, yes, yes, yes.
Do not shake the couch.
Oh, you're holding a hot beverage?
Mm-hmm.
It's fine. Sorry. So yeah, it's and that's an exciting thing because Renee says a bunch of my friends already have. I think that's the big thing for me is that I'm seeing more and more like personal people that I know. People are posting on Facebook or whatever, like, got my first shot. And, like, that sort of thing is super exciting. A lot of folks here have gotten it.
I talked to my grandma yesterday, and it's been a week or two since she had her second shot for Moderna. She said she had no reaction to the second shot at all. She said she feels great, and I think she was saying in a week she's allowed to go visit other people who've been vaccinated in her building.
Okay.
So she's very excited.
Yeah. It's I'm excited. Jabez says, do you guys know when you're getting vaccinated? So our group for our state is early May.
That's what they're saying right now.
That's what they're saying right now. Obviously all that stuff is subject to change, but for where we're at, it's looking like the first week of May is when we'll be eligible.
South Carolina's doing 1A, 1B, 1C, phase 2, and we're in phase 2.
Yeah.
And they just started 1B on this past Monday. And 1B and 1A are over half the population.
Yeah.
So 1B is a big group for our state. So it'll be a while before we move to 1C.
Yeah. So it's exciting. It's exciting. I'm glad that things are moving along. As soon as that's what's 1C include, do you know? Because 1B is 55.
Yes. 1B is 55 and up. It's also essential workers, anyone who has to be face-to-face at their job, has to. Teachers.
And then 1C is...
I think that's where they start adding in, medical conditions.
Okay. Every state is different. So I think that's the thing that... I'm gonna call it a bug, not a feature. Is when you've got 50 different states, and I think the territories are doing it differently as well. You can't talk to anyone in any other state I mean, Bassunas is in South Carolina, but like you can't talk to other people in other states and like be like, so when can we get the thing? Because you don't know. Like every single state is different. So for folks that are in different countries, they're looking to the U.S. and being like, how are you guys doing it? It's like, well, who you talking to?
Every state is doing it different.
You know, who you talking to? Because it's really a toss up. We're like 50 little countries.
Yeah. And I mean,
Like
some
50 little
states
countries.
need to do it differently. Like when it was just the Pfizer vaccine, like there's some states who can't handle that. Like that they have populations that are too rural that can't be that far from the deep freezers, or their state has only one freezer in the entire state that can do that. So.
Yeah. It's, there's a lot of little tiny things that add up. So yeah, it's an interesting way to do a country. To be honest. Let's read some of these things. We got 30 months from Skit Scott. Got that 2+. 28 months from Dan Began 2. 20 months from Destiny Light 2. 29 months from Chaz, who says, thanks to Pickletron for the multi-month sub-gift. So thank you, Pickletron, for allowing me to thank Chaz. 9 months from Bourbon Dodongo. Sub-baby. Name suggestions are welcome. For Bourbon Dodongo, how about Whiskey Keese? Eh? I want to hear chat's takes on Alcohol Zelda Enemy. Alcohol Zelda Enemy is a great combination.
Yes, my child whiskey key.
Okay, Jolly Roger Gay did improve on my joke. Whiskies is really good. I like whiskeys. When you can get those words to just smooth in together, that's beer bokoblin. Beer coblin. Beer coblin. Rum and Gannon. These are good. Man, if Nintendo ever opens a bar, I'll be surprised. But then they can come up with some of these names. 11 months from Gaming Fantasies. 10 months of crunch, shrimp, and anti-elbowism. Is the anti-elbowism or hyper-elbowism? Or is anti-elbowism what you need when you've already experienced hyper-elbowism?
We have shrimp for dinner.
We do?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you're doing
jambalaya.
Jambalaya.
Mm-hmm.
Man, these are heavy meals. We're doing tikka masala for lunch and jambalaya for dinner.
They're going to be spread out.
Yeah.
We probably won't do dinner till after everyone leaves driveway.
Okay. I'm just thinking, man, that's a lot of... It's fine. Anti-elbowism is when you don't have an elbow. If something happens and your elbow is stuck straight. Actually, I've been having problems with my elbow in the past 2 days, so it's actually funny that comes up. Mal looked it up and said I probably have either tennis elbow or golf elbow.
Which apparently are different things. I had never heard of golf elbow.
Trying to think of the best way to describe it. I know the motion that has caused it. Mm-hmm. Because when you're holding a phone and using the phone, it stretches like the inside of the elbow, and I noticed I was getting some pain and weakness in my arm. And yesterday it finally culminated in the inside of my elbow being very sensitive. So when I was touching, I was like, oh, that's tender. And it has pain up my arm and into my hand and my fingers, and the whole thing, it was just very weak. I couldn't do a whole lot with it. So yesterday I really put forth the effort to not use it very much. And if I was going to use my phone, I tried to use my left hand. And I didn't play any phone games, so no Slay the Spire. So it's like, that, I might be playing that game. Like doing more little motions and stuff and moving my hands more than if I was just like scrolling a web browser. And I did that yesterday, and last night when I slept, I tried to make sure I slept with my arms straight, and it's helped a little bit. So the next step would be getting a like an elbow brace if I feel like I need that. I had problems with my wrist a few months ago, a year ago, a year ago or more, and I got a wrist brace that I wore for a little bit, like a week or so, and it helped. So I'm really just trying to identify that there is a problem and say, before I push this further than it should be, let's
realize you're getting older.
Yeah. And try to relax it the best I can. So I'm sure if I do that, it'll be fine.
He says, "Ouch, Mel. I know, I'm older." Yeah. I have to remind him because he's younger. He's like, "Why do I hurt?"
Zelda Master says, "Is that your vlog camera holding arm as well?" It is, but the motion that is causing the pain is the compression of the arm. So like holding the arm close is what's causing the problem. And if I'm using the camera, it's far away. And there's relatively very little of that in a day. But yeah, we could, I don't know if I guess it's camera elbow. We can call it camera elbow. I'm just trying.
It is a heavy camera. Are you sure you want something heavier?
Yes. Yes, I am. It's not that I want something heavy. I'm not like, oh, I want something heavier. It's not that I want something heavier. It's just that for the things that I want in a camera, the weight of the camera increases. If I want to get a full frame camera, it's going to be heavier. The body is heavier. The lenses are heavier.
Just go back to the flip.
Oh my god. 14 months. From Wilhelm Heinlein, who says, "Found out my job is being outsourced. Can I get some of the patented good vibes as I begin the search for a new job?" Yes, absolutely. Good vibes. Good vibes. I hope that you can bounce back from that relatively quickly, find something that'll work for you, and continue forward. That happened to someone I knew not too long ago, actually, and they were in the exact same boat. 28 months from Jolly Roger Gay, who says, "Wikipedia tells me 28 is the fourth magic number. Some scientifically inclined person in chat can enlighten us on what the heck that means." Oh, we learned about these once. I don't remember anything about them, but I do remember learning about them at some point. But there are magic numbers. There are magic numbers. Seeing if anyone knows. Debatably competent says 28's a pretty neat number. I'd give it a 7. That's my take on it. It's like, seems good. It's basically like number 7. It's just a reoccurring number. It's divisible by 2, 4, 7, 14, 28. I think that's it.
But is it happy?
But is it happy? Is it happy?
Just waiting for Chaz.
To tell us to move on?
No, just to yell Thomas.
Oh. Both at the same time? I don't mind talking about math stuff. Like, if it's a little tiny thing, like, I can learn, then I try to, like, put it into my brain. And then that gives me the excuse to then talk about camera stuff. Does it give me a jolly? No, it does not give me a jolly. Anti-jolly. Yield Lodge. Jolly backwards. 7 months. From Willie Joel 345. 7 months down, many to go. Love the stream since it's an awesome way to start my day. Keep up the amazing work, guys. Well, thank you. Thank you. I'm glad that you enjoy them. And this is a fun way for us to start day too. Satsy. 29 months from Saibi, who just says, wee. Thank you, Saibi. 23 months from Vinny G Plays. I don't know how I missed this when I joined chat, but oh well. Since things have been on the upswing for me, I hope to share these good vibes with everyone. Oh, that's great. That's the flip side of good vibes. Because a lot of people, ask for good vibes, which is appropriate. But then the flip side is if you are experiencing the good vibes, that you then share them. So if something good has happened, we like it when people, share that. Whether just saying that things are on the upswing or something very specific, sharing that good news is great. So Vinny, I'm glad that things are going well. 24 months. Hey. It's ominous. 24 months from a doodle. Who says, oh shoot, 2 years. Anyway, here's a random question. Do you know my real name? Wrong answers are okay. I may have known it at some point. I could, I know what you look like. Like I could pick you out of a lineup. Because you've got, I mean, especially when my hair was a little less long, and it was a little more poofy. You've got like some poofy hair, but as far as names, I'm not always great with names, so I'm not sure. Did I know it at some point? It's possible. It's possible. It is a female name, but I can't remember. Renee thinks that she knows it. So the thing is, sometimes people have usernames that maybe they're long, or they're not necessarily long, but like complicated or hard to remember. But if you have a really good username, a lot of times I'll remember the username really, really well. And Doodle's a really, really good username. I'm gonna compliment you on the username choice. It's actually a really, really good one. I've only used it 3 times over the years I've been in the community. Yeah, it's hard for me to remember. Okay, Audrey, hence Adoodle, and that's a really good use of like taking the real world name and turning it into the username. Mr. Gameboy says, "What's my name?" Matt. Also, please, don't everyone quiz me. I can only do small amounts of quizzes. You'll very quickly realize how little I actually know about anything. Very, very small amount. 300 bits from Colin, who says, happy Thursday. I'm super excited because I got my first dose of the vaccine yesterday. Arm is doing okay. Spirit's never better. Nice. That's what it's about. That's what it's about. I'm looking forward to, I mean, for us it's going to be May, so.
Yeah.
Hey. 300 bits from Shy. Remember when I said I hoped things went smoothly on Monday? They didn't. And consulants don't like helping you with anything other than exactly what you came for. Long, fun times ahead from here.
My cousin's dealing with that right now.
Well, I'm sorry about that. The things that we hope for in life really boil down to, I hope things go smoothly for as long as possible. So I hope that things return to being smooth. I guess, is the best we can hope for. We get 6 months from Valix Butterfly, double plus. 26 months from Armored Frog. 26 months, just got the news that I'm eligible for the vaccine. Now comes the fun, TM, part of getting an appointment. I mean,
ours are very booked.
It's one of those things that really depends on the state, because there are some states, I'm not going to say they've botched it, but if it's come wait in a line for hours and we'll see, it's not a great system. But if you're getting an appointment at all, then that's good, because there are some states that are doing that. It's like, hey, let's form a queue, not a literal, like a hypothetical queue, an appointment. They have a word for it. Fortunately, South Carolina's doing appointments.
Yeah.
From what I've understood.
Per capita, we're in the bottom half.
Yeah.
Way down in the bottom half.
It's fine. 300 bits. 300 bits from Aldo. Says, everyone always talks about hot dogs being sandwiches or cereal being soup, but it's time for the age-old question. Is Pop-Tart a pie?
Hand pie.
Yeah, it is. It definitely is. It would count as a hand pie. And maybe also... No, it was a pie. I was going to think if maybe it applied, if it counted as a sandwich, but no, it's baked, there's a filling,
Hold it.
That's a pie. It counts as a sad, yeah, it's a sad pie. But it's a pie. 18 months from Padawan Becca. 18 months. Woo! I've got nothing clever to say, but maybe you've got hyperextension of the elbow.
Maybe.
Whatever I've done, I know that I can probably undo if I just take it easy. And I have been using my phone more, because I never play games on my phone. I just never, historically, it's just not something I really do. So I don't use my phone all that often. But in the last few months, 2 months, maybe, since I got Slay the Spire,
you've been playing it more.
I've been playing Slay the Spire. Like, if I have downtime, that's what I'm doing.
Before bed or...
Yeah, so I'm absolutely playing the phone more, and that's the same motion, like holding it and doing all this and moving the, my arm. So like I'm seeing that. So yeah, Wildfire points out Dragon Quest. Yeah, I played Dragon Quest, but that was just on a plane and that was it. I beat it and then I was done with it. So, Slay the Spire is a game that I've been regularly playing, like usually every day a little bit. So I'm gonna have to not, and it's hard. Like, if you think about when you're playing a traditional video game and you've got, a controller, resting in your lap, you still have relatively good posture, and unless you're like gaming, like in a Kmart ad or something, then you're probably be able to do that for a sustained session. But mobile gaming is different because, for one, the screen is small, so you need to bring it closer to your face. So you're holding it, and then with your other arm, you've got this weird, like you're holding it. That actually hurts. Doing this.
Stop doing it.
I'm just making sure they understand. I really do think that that's the problem. So I think I'm gonna have to cut back or just be done with the game. I did Slay the Spire with each character.
Isn't that what you said you were trying to do?
Well, yeah, I did that, and then I was like, well, I'd really like to try and be all the achievements, but I might just be like, I did it. I beat the game. I did it. Anyway. 300 bits from Ikaboo 2. Hey, Steven, I've been wondering about this. If you guys ever meet up physically for Coliseum again, have you ever thought about doing an on-camera disc-only session?
We probably would.
Yeah, we've talked about just doing something with disc-only, whether that would be a podcast live or if it would be, a gaming session, something like that. Because if we're doing it for Coliseum's super busy. There's really not that much downtime, so we would probably integrate something disc only into the event itself, which means that we'd do something gaming, because then that would be, there'd be ways to have incentives for actual fundraising. So, yeah, I definitely think that there will be something that involves, me, Jared, Dan, Tom, and John at some point in the future. What exactly that is, I have no idea. 8 months from Raging Gymnast. 8 months. I was wondering if you ever did a Mother 3 Let's Play, what style would you use? More similar to older LPs like Shadow of the Colossus. I don't really know what... I don't know if I completely understand the question. I mean, if we were going to do it, it would just be how we do things now?
Yeah.
We would probably, if we were to do it, we'd probably, we might stream it if we were going to do it, but we don't have any plans for it, basically. I mean, also, like, I feel like our style has probably changed a little bit. Maybe if it's just stream versus pre-recorded. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't want to commit to anything. The reason we've never covered the game is because it's a game that I like people to experience for themselves. Because it's a very emotional game. But, like, am I opposed to doing it? I'm not opposed to doing it. Maybe at some point I'll feel like doing it. But more and more we're streaming stuff because it's so beneficial for our schedules to be able to just sit down and do a thing and then, have created content.
No, let him pick me.
Well, he might walk past me.
I got a blanket. Well, I have a hoodie on my lap.
He might walk past me.
I got a hoodie on my lap.
He didn't, but he could have. He could have.
We were in bed last night, and the lights are off, and Kepler is at the door of my studio howling. He just wanted in.
When was this?
You fell asleep. He was howling in the hallway over by the studio. That real deep howl that he does. He's crying. He wasn't locked in anywhere.
He just wanted... Yeah, that must have been it. Chess says, help, I have an artistic idea I must express.
I have plastic in there I need to chew.
That's where he keeps the plastic. 30 bits from Tiger413. Good morning, Stephen and Mal. I don't know if you've mentioned this before, but how did the two of you meet/start dating? Yeah, this is so that we've talked about.
It's a vlog, but I understand that you might have missed it.
It's been a long time.
Of them.
Yeah, and also we've had a lot of folks that have, a lot of the vlogs and stuff that we've talked about. They're older.
Yeah, much older.
We originally met on a old website. Is that rude to call it? No, it is old. It's an old website.
It's still there.
It's still there. It's still there.
Mm-hmm.
Called starmen.net. It's a Earthbound fan website.
And they had a forum.
Yeah, and we just sort of met through that. We were both fans of Earthbound, the Mother series.
Coffee!
And then we started to hang out on Skype with some other people. Yeah, and well, they don't know what IRC is. I mean, some of you do. Some of you are just as old as us. Yeah, hung out on Skype and with some other people and chatted and talked, and then we, got to know each other a little bit better, started developing feelings for each other, and then we're like, hey, I like you. You like me? Yeah, I like you. That was me doing an impression of you. And then...
and that was...
13 years ago.
13 years ago, Monday.
Yeah. Yeah. So, neat. That's it. That's the
short version.
That's a very short version, but that's essentially how we met. We met online through a website that I am not convinced is not a dating website, since there have been how many marriages?
The last count I knew was 7.
I think we're up to like 10. I think there's been like 10 marriages or something from starman.net, and we were the third.
Yeah.
We were the third marriage, which is great, because within the Earthbound lore, I can say we are the third strongest marriage. I mean, well, I guess we should try to be first strongest marriage, but it's a little joke. It's fine. It's fine. People know what I'm getting at. Danny XX gifted a sub to Happy Number. All numbers should be happy numbers. 666 bits from Mazaldini. I'm doing a randomized Pokemon Platinum Nuzlocke and found a Bulbasaur, and of course I had to name it Greg. It immediately died to a gym leader's Porygon Z. Yes, it's a real Pokemon, because it knew Psychic, which being Poison type, was super weak to it. I actually know about Porygon Z. I think of Porygon Z as Porygon, but rounded, because it's like it looks like a squishy Porygon. Normal Porygon looks like if you dropped him from like 3 feet, it would break. Mm-hmm. Porygon Z looks like it would bounce. Oh, you guys, what is it? Nuzlocke? Nuz. You know how many times that word comes out of my human mouth in a year? Once. So I see it written a lot. How many times do I have to say it? Not very often. Nuzlocke. Nuzlocke. Does it come out of your non-human mouth more? Yes. 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 Nuzlocke. I've already said it more than I'm going to say it for the rest of 2021.
I saw a
Maybe now
thing yesterday online that was like, I'm getting kicked out of my D&D group because I keep pronouncing Paladin as Pauladine.
Woo! Oh, I like that a lot. Oh my god, now I want a character that is modeled after Pauladine that's a paladin. Named Paladine. Oh, that's really good. Oh, I like that. Order of the Butter. Man. Oh, that's good. That's a good character. There are people right now writing that down like, that's great. That's really great. And that's my next character. 30 bits from a Lost Vagabond. Spreading good vibes. It's been a very good month for me so far. Got an interview for a new job next week. Birthday's in 2 weeks. And just a few minutes ago, I was able to order a PS5. Also, clown. Nice.
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 All good things.
Man, I can't believe we're now like several months in and the PS5 is still
hard to find.
Still hard to find. And it is. It's still difficult. I had mentioned on a previous breakfast stream I'm now starting to look for, or maybe it was Friday, I don't remember. I'm now starting to look for the RTX 30 cards and realizing how difficult they are to find. Because I have some links for all the stuff like pulled up on my computer, and then like maybe like once a day I'll just click through them and be like, I don't know, are they here? And no, they're not. No, they're not. They are not. They do not exist. You got 11 months from what is even this game? I haven't been able to tune in as much in 2021, but when I have, it's been a pleasant time. I'm glad to celebrate 11 months. And I'm glad it's still pleasant. And even though you're busy, thanks for stopping in. Next month, you'll hit that one. 30 bits from Ann. What's my name, Steven? Trick question. My username is my pen name for writing. My legal name is super common in women my age, so I hardly ever respond to it because it usually doesn't mean me. That's fair. I actually, I knew a lot of people, especially in the Starman.net era, that they really preferred to go by their usernames. Mm-hmm. And I knew them as their usernames.
Yeah.
Whenever we
still talk about them as their usernames.
Yeah, because, I mean, for one, when you're online and people have those online nicknames, that's how you know them. And even when we would meet up in person, some people were like, we're in person now, I want you to call me my real name. And that was fine. But there's so many people that, like, when I see their face, I have to think through, like, what is their name? I always remember their username. Mm-hmm. So, Ann is a good name, and you're Ann to me. 10 months from Zeosarn. Quiz time? Nah. It's 10 month. Oh, God, 10. Sub-anniversary time. Thank you all for being amazing and oh so kind. Thank you for the kind words. I appreciate it.
Renee says, sometimes it's like calling a teacher by their first name. Like, I don't know if I physically can.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a school I did a not student teaching, before that, observation at. And it was, you know, Miss, Mr. first name. So I would have been like Miss Mallory. And it was real interesting because, like, that's what the kids all called the teachers.
I feel like I had a teacher at some point that wanted to be Miss first name, and now I don't remember who it is. Mm-hmm. But I can't remember, I can't remember my teachers' names.
Yeah.
Like, from elementary, no. From middle, no. From even from high school, I'm now, like, to the point where I'm like, I don't... Vaguely, maybe a few. But even in college, like, I'm just... Every part of education is just gone. I'm like, I learned some things at some point, and now I don't remember who taught them.
Mm-hmm. When I was teaching, you know, I was Mrs. George, but I really liked when kids would get comfortable with me and drop the Mrs. and just call me George.
Okay. But never your first name.
No.
Because that was too weird. It's too informal for students.
Yeah. Well, it was hard for them to figure out, too. Like, it wasn't really anywhere.
It's hard for them to figure out?
Like, it wasn't on my ID or...
Okay.
whatever grading software it was we used that I can't remember now.
Did you have any coworkers that used like a nickname for the kids, or was everyone pretty much like, I am, you know, last name?
I don't know. I can't think of anyone in particular.
I remember. I don't remember what it was now, but I know that I had a PE teacher who had a nickname, and we called them the nickname. Do I remember what the nickname is now? No. I can remember that, like, I'm Miss So-and-so, but you gotta call me this. Mm-hmm. And now I don't remember what that was. Will I recall it? Maybe. I'll try and remember what that name was. 300 bits from DC Racer. My mom, a type 1 diabetic, got her first dose yesterday, and it was a drive-through. She never got out of her car. I'm trying to schedule mine, since my BMI is over 25, that's eligible in Louisiana. Yeah, it's... If you can schedule it, that's fantastic. And if you can do it in a drive-through, that's even better. Like, just drive on through, get the shot, mosey on, you know, with the rest of your day. Some of the ways that the states are doing it are really good. So, yeah, if you can get it, that's fantastic. We, you know, push closer and closer towards.
This is Wendy's. Oh, you woke him. He was so out of it.
Make sure that you're not going to get your vaccine while inebriated. For one, you shouldn't drive. Number two, you might wind up at the Wendy's. 300 bits from Night Owl. So I'm thinking about getting a Pro Controller for my Switch because I've had another Joy-Con start to drift after only 11 months. Do you have any advice on them? Have you had to buy any more Pro Controllers because of drift? So I prefer the Pro Controllers. I do not like Joy-Cons. I don't like them. For one, they're a bad product. They're an objectively bad product because they just break. Like, if you look at them funny, they're like, my sticks! And then they break. The other thing is that as someone who has literally gigantic hands, it's one of the least comfortable controllers I've ever used in my life. Because if I'm using them normally, I feel like I'm just like... They're like sitting in here. Like,
do we have one handy to compare with your hand?
No. And if, God forbid, you have to turn that thing sideways, the controller's only this long, so I'm like, ooh, you know, I make whale sounds every time I don't like it. Using the Switch handheld isn't the worst experience in the world, but it's not my favorite thing. So I actually love the Pro Controller. I've never had any problems with my Pro Controller. People have. Actually, very recently, Emil went on this long Twitter tirade where he talked about how crappy the Joy-Cons were, how many pairs he's been through, and how he has experienced drift on Pro Controllers. He also plays video games more than I do. So, I mean, I guess your mileage may vary, but I have had drift on multiple Joy-Cons. We've owned a Pro Controller since the Switch came out, and we have not
had trouble with it.
Had any trouble with... Oh, no. Oh, my goodness. Oh, no. Having problem with my sticks. It's really sucks, and because they are drifting around, they're going from left to the right. I'm trying to control Mario, but something ain't quite right. I used right with right, but it was a different kind of right. It was a direction versus a feeling, so I guess it's okay. Don't you look at me like that. Don't you look at me like that. It's not my best song, but it is a breakfast stream song, and none of them are ever that great.
Direction, feeling.
Well, you can use Thomas gave me a beat. You can use you can use the same word if it has a different meaning. One is a direction, one is a feeling, a feeling of correctness. It's been a while since we had a breakfast stream song, so it really caught me off guard. Really caught me off guard. That's from Pickletron. Ah, my sticks. Hashtag family friendly. So, yeah, I advise them because I don't like the Joy-Cons.
My Joy-Cons are starting to go.
Yeah.
One of them dies so fast, and the other's fine.
I think the thing that's so unfortunate is that Nintendo products historically they've been the best video game products I've ever used. They stand up to abuse. They just work. Like the stuff that I had from childhood. Like I still have like my Super Nintendo controllers from childhood that have thousands, if not tens of thousands of hours of play on them, and they're all fine. But the Joy-Cons, you know, just like, I don't know, I'm sick. I don't get it. But would I recommend Pro Controllers? Yes. I would. Again, your mileage may vary. There is a chance they could drift because other people have reported that. But have we had problems? No. We have 2 of them and they're both fine. So watch me say that, and then today we go to record more Pikmin and like the captains are like, wee! We're like, no, this way.
Speaking of Pikmin, I have a video out, and I have the full version coming out right after breakfast stream.
Yeah.
I should have scheduled it time-wise, but I didn't. I have to go press a couple buttons.
Yeah, you probably should have just scheduled it for after.
It was processing, and I couldn't put cards and stuff in, so I was just like, eh.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, Mouse full version will be out, let's say, right after breakfast stream?
Yeah.
Okay, so right after breakfast stream, refresh Mal makes.
We'll have to go do cards, so it'll be like...
Give Mal 15 minutes after breakfast stream, and then it'll be out. It's good. The painting's really good. It's one of the most... I think it was one of the most detailed paintings Mal's ever done. And the full version is just really nice. It's nice to see your thought process, and you know, you slowly work through things. It's good. 30 bits from Platinum Pikachu. My dad's getting his first vaccination right now, while my mom's is soon. As for me, well, I'm in the lowest priority group, which is fine by me. I don't want to jump ahead of those who really need it. Yep, that's fair. Like I said, we gotta wait until May.
South Carolina says May.
And that's fine because we continue to just not do anything, really. It is exciting, though, because I'm trying to remember the exact thing that I've read, and you have to help me on this. I believe it's... I don't know if it's state or country. I think it's for the whole country. The numbers are now... The spread is slower than it was...
We've had more people get their first shot than people who have caught COVID. That's what it is.
I'm thinking of a different statistic.
Oh, okay.
Mine is something like the spread is slower now than it was at the apex.
I don't remember.
Or the beginning or something. At the beginning of the pandemic? I don't know. Something like that. Anyway, something's good. Sometimes you don't need the specifics. And I don't really have them, apparently. I just remember reading it and being that's good. You know, number go down. So that's exciting. And, you know, it also reduces your risk, too. Because everyone's, you know, people have to do things. They have to either go to work or get groceries or whatnot. So, like, when they're doing stuff, at least you know that the risk is decreasing, which is
Yeah.
really good. We got 5 months from Short Tom, who says, just moved to North Carolina, so I'm finally able to watch breakfast stream with a reasonable hour. Waking up at 6 is too hard. It's fair.
There's some cool places in North Carolina, though.
North Carolina's a great state. It's a really, really great state.
There's a lot of variety.
Yeah.
Because they got the mountains, they got, like, cool cities like Charlotte and Raleigh and Winston-Salem. Durham.
Yeah, there's some really cool stuff.
And then you have, like, the Outer Banks, which are super cool. There's some Outer Banks where they speak a different language, kind of. Like, there's a dialect that's specific to a specific part of the Outer Banks.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot to explore in North Carolina. Obviously, I guess, now's not, like, the best time to just, like, go exploring. But later this year, I would... as someone that's just moved to North Carolina, I would make little trips and see if you can explore the state a little bit more.
Asheville's super cool.
It's a really cool place.
There's a mountain over by Asheville, north of it, that's super cool.
30 bits from Kyle Jensen, who says, all right, Stephen, what's my real name? Wrong answers are also acceptable. Is it Kyle? 500 bits from Radio Dread, who says, just a la-di-da bit message passing through, wishing you a great Thursday. Well, thank you. I hope that you have a Thursday that is also great. I do think our Thursday's actually going to be great.
Yeah.
I really do. We're going to we are recording more Pikmin today. It's time to record Pikmin. It's time to start playing through Battle.
Yeah.
We did collect treasure. It's time to do Battle. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to try to also fit in Pyra. The next Co-op Classic Smash video. Because we've had some people asking about it, and I'm like, yeah, soon. So, we're going to work on that. We need to watch the thing.
Yeah.
The full presentation where Sakurai is like, if you press A, you'll attack. We need to know that that's what happens. 500 bits from Padawan Becca. Math time. In medical assisting, we had to learn medicine math. Take the amount doctor ordered over how many is on hand. Doctor ordered 2 400 milligram tablets of amoxicillin, or what is that? Amyxil, probably not the same thing. 800 milligrams / 1600 milligrams, so you could administer 2 or more doses of antibiotics if needed. Oh, actually, Amyxil is probably amoxicillin. If it's an antibiotic, I don't know. I don't know drug lingo. I know that's probably surprising. You probably thought, Stephen George, big drug guy. No, I'm actually... don't know a lot about amoxicillin. Okay, Becca says yes. Yeah, neat. Yeah, I don't... the most that I have to do as far as, like, medicine math is, if I take... Tylenol.
What is 4 hours from now?
Yeah, and like understanding the milligrams is obviously important because there's consumer stuff where it's just like extra strength, super extra, but like that's really not that helpful in my opinion. I guess some people would rather know I can take 1 ultra strength, but I don't want to know that. I actually would rather know milligrams because if I know I can take 1,000 milligrams of this, that's all I need to know. It doesn't matter, if it's an ultra strength or a normal strength, whatever, I can just look at it and be like, these are 200 milligrams, I can take 5. So. But I very rarely take over-the-counter medicine. It's very, very rare. Mal, for the past year, Mal's basically lived on ibuprofen. That's part of your daily vitamins. But for me, every once in a while I'll get like a headache, and I'll need something like that. We got 13 months from Pickletron. Says, didn't this happen on Tuesday? Nothing has happened ever.
I think I'm gonna go get some tea.
In addition to
coffee.
Okay. What kind of tea?
Chai. Because I bought all that chai.
Okay. And it says, important note, you can take ibuprofen and Tylenol at the same time because they're different drug classes work in different parts of the body. I think the important thing that I didn't realize until adulthood that helped me a lot is that a lot of people think of them both as pain relievers, and that's true, but ibuprofen specifically is a
non-steroid anti-inflammatory.
It's an anti-inflammatory. So, like, depending on what your specific problem is, you know, you're like, I have pain. If you can take it one step further and identify why you have that pain, then ibuprofen might be a better fit, because if you are having pain because something is inflamed, you should take an anti-inflammatory. Yeah. 300 bits from Night Owl. He says, happy anniversary to you guys, by the way. Hashtag Lincoln Pikachu. Thank you. I appreciate it. And then Night Owl also asked, that's how you guys met, and also Chaz, Alex, Paul, Emil, Toby, and others, I believe. Yeah. All of those. Starman.net is how I met Mal, but that's also how I know Chaz. That's how I know Alex. That's how I know Paul. That's how I know Emil. That's how I know Toby. Others. There's some folks some folks now that are in chat that I know because of Starman.net. So they're names that I've known for a long time. Haley, yes, Haley. Yeah, Haley was from Starman. So, yeah, Toby Fox. Jeff is not from Starman. Jeff is from outside the Earthbound group. Yeah, Steve. Yeah. Man, I know a lot, and like some of my best friends I've ever met really are folks from that site. Wait, actually, Toby, I think it's always fun when folks. Oh, good morning, Dan. Hi, Dan. I think it's always fun when folks realize that we know Toby, because then we can just point them to like the first set of Japan vlogs. That's fun, and then people are like, "Oh."
I like when people watch those and didn't know that he was like on the trip. They're like, "Is he in it?"
Yeah, that's the other fun part. Is when people are just randomly taking the journey and they're just watching the vlogs, and then they get to those vlogs and Toby is in them, and they're like, "Wait a minute, is that Toby?" And we're like, "Yeah." They're like, "But why?" It's like, "Cause he's an Earthbound guy."
He knows those people that were on the trip.
Yeah. Yeah, he was actually on the vlog long time before that too. He's been on the vlog a few times. Yeah. We've been on the internet for a long time. 30.
I was gonna say I had to when we went on that trip. The principal had asked me, like, you're gonna be gone. Could you give some sort of presentation about Japanese culture when you get back for your students?
Yeah.
So I spent a small amount of time when I got back, like, talking about things and talking about sumo, because we had seen sumo. And Toby was in one of the photos I showed.
Oh yeah, didn't you have a student?
One of my students was like, is that? And I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
They were a student that was real good at art and good in my class, so we chatted.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you make friends with people over the years, and like you don't know what will happen to their lives. You know? Toby ended up being just remarkably famous, ultimately, which was, I'm sure, probably not his plan. He just wanted to make a cool game, and I really don't even know Toby all that well. We know of each other, and we've interacted multiple times,
and hung out,
but not what I would call like a close friend by any stretch of the imagination.
Welcome back, Kepler.
There was one year where he couldn't get a PAX ticket. This is just so funny now because he made Undertale. There was one year where he couldn't get a PAX ticket, and we sold him an extra PAX ticket that we had. And that was actually right before Undertale came out. That was like a year, I think. A year, or maybe even just a few months before Undertale came out. And now, I don't think he would have any problem getting a ticket. 30 months from Ann, who says, you have a howling Kepler, I have a mooing Brando. Animal noises are funny. Also, I'm actively working on getting Grandpa that mysterious letter I promised. Does it have disappearing ink? because all mysterious letters should have disappearing ink. Actually, they shouldn't, or you won't be able to read them.
If you write in lemon juice, and then you apply a slight amount of heat with like an iron, the writing will show up.
How do you know about this?
A spy book when I was a kid. It was like how to write secret letters, and it was like dip a marker, an empty marker, in lemon juice and write with it.
Okay.
Actually, I think it was a movie, like a VHS series. It was like... Well, there was 3 of them. One was like spy stuff, one was gardening, and one was like crafts. I really liked the craft one. Like, because it was like, make flowers out of tissue paper. And I was like, cool.
Not really sure what you're doing in your free time, but I'm only slightly concerned. 30 bits.
Thanks, Satsy.
30 bits from Eli and Company, who says, Morning, grandparents. Have you ever thought of playing the Kingdom Hearts series on the channel? I'd love to see Steven's reactions to Disney violence. I've done a first 20 of Kingdom Hearts 3. I was remarkably confused. Remarkably confused. So if you haven't seen that, I would urge you to watch that. We've also covered some stuff in Extra Life before. There's a Game Boy one that we played.
Yeah.
That might be it. So catch that if you haven't. But as far as there being any immediate plans for that, there's not. Could it happen? It could happen. But there are other plans for it, not right now.
Avery said that they knew the VHSs I was talking about. What were they called? I don't remember. They had like a name and they were all the same, but it was like something something arts.
Coffee.
Or like, let's make crafts or something. I don't know. Carly might know too. Carly's not here this morning.
So much interest in spies. 500 bits for Toaster Wolf. Mummy. So, on the topic of meeting people online, I've recently met a person who I seem to be able to understand almost instinctually. I'm trying to play it safe, but I find it fun nonetheless. I mean, that'll happen. I think one of the things that was most powerful about the internet, I mean, when I was growing up on the internet and then also today, is that you might live in a place where you just feel like, I don't know, maybe you feel like people don't get you. Maybe your views don't align very well with where you are. But on the internet, it's everybody, and you can seek out people that have the same interests
And
communities like that, and you can really gain a sense of social presence that you may not have in real life. And then the cool thing is those people are real, and like you can hang out with them. I think that's one of the things that's so exciting. You know, you can meet people online, and then you can be like, hey, let's get together.
Oh, we're all going to PAX? Let's
yeah,
go to a panel together and meet up.
So
Do it carefully.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I'm not gonna be anyone's mom and be like, you know, be careful, but you know, use common sense. But also, I am from the era of, you know, most of my best friends were made online. So yeah, it's absolutely a thing. If anything, I'm like the anti-mom, where I'm like, no, get out there and meet the people from the internet. They're great. They're great people. Use common sense and judgment. But otherwise, they're great. Yeah, I'm a better grandpa than a mom, admittedly. 30 bits from Squid, who says, it was weird in college when most professors wanted to be called by their first name. It just triggers my anxiety. Clown. Yeah, I knew... Yeah, actually... I guess most of the professors wanted to be... It was much more informal. It was much more casual.
Mine were all last name.
Really? Mm-hmm. I think it was probably about half and half for me. I guess it just depended on... It probably depended a little bit on the subject matter, too.
Yeah.
To be honest.
All of my education professors were definitely last name. But, like, my art professors, I don't know. Some of them were, like... Maybe some were first name. I don't remember.
I think for the most part,
they were all working artists. So
my professors just didn't really care.
Yeah.
It's like they get paid either way. They get paid no matter what you call them. 4 months from Capricious Collector. I've been told this is my sub anniversary. Odd considering I just subbed at the start of this stream. Life comes at you fast. 25 months from Moist Neon. Says, morning, Stephen and Mel. I've had a pretty crappy week, to be honest. Flat tire on bike, change of my brake calipers on my car, and yesterday my computer didn't want to start, so let's hope next week will be better. Let's send some good vibes your way. Hopefully, you know, if this week is bad, at least we can hope that, you know, next week will be better.
My brake calipers went on my Kia when I was in high school, and it was not fun.
Anytime anything related to brakes happens, unless I am applying brakes. If I'm actively applying brakes, that's the only time I want to talk about my brakes. If we're talking about my brakes any other time, something's gone wrong. That should just be something that's like, it's working. We got 104 bits from Zelda Fan. Appreciate it. 300 from Gamer Girl. Says, your parents plan on getting the vaccine? Yeah. Yeah. They and actually, they just became eligible
Monday.
Yeah, somewhat recently. So we've got to basically get them all set up for stuff. There's a local pharmacy that is like reporting on like getting the vaccines and stuff in, and we're keeping track of that. So it's a process, because even though you're into the next phase, you can't just like get it as soon as it is available, unless you I guess are waiting around the clock to click buttons, which is easier said than done. But in the relatively near future, yes. Considering that this has now been going on for near as a year, knowing that it'll happen within the next few weeks, that's exciting. It's exciting. Dan says, did you eat this morning?
No, you haven't.
No, but Mao has eaten a quarter of all of my food here.
No.
Yes. If you eat half
That's like a third. See, this dot is half. So I had a third of one Pop-Tart. But I can change that.
I haven't actually... Thank you, Dan, for being concerned. Okay, you're right. You actually didn't eat that much, did you?
Now that you're eating.
I did say I was gonna see if I was gonna put half of the Pop-Tart in my mouth, just to see if I could,
That's over half.
This is over half.
Do you have any drink left?
A little bit.
Okay.
This is, here, let me tear it off so it's exactly half.
Chad is pointing out a third is more than a quarter. I'm saying a third of one Pop-Tart. He was saying a quarter of both Pop-Tarts. So I had a sixth.
Did you say it's half? That's half.
That's half.
So this is half of a Pop-Tart. Because the other day I was like, I could eat a whole Pop-Tart in one bite. And then I was like, well, you know, probably
Those
should.
are chalky Pop-Tarts, too.
Yeah. I'm going to do, I'll just do half of a Pop-Tart.
Just like you could jump that ditch, Jonathan says. Steven cannot jump the ditch.
So that was easy. But I'm thinking about, like,
How dry it is.
it's very dry. Very dry. My hair is slowing me down. Alright, I ate it.
Okay.
I don't think that I could...
Eat a whole one?
Yeah, I don't know. It
You
seems...
have no desire now? You're like, nah.
Because, like, half was pretty easy, but I think that doubling that would be a little much. Understanding your limits. The man sitting on his couch shoveling Pop-Tarts into his mouth said, is an important step.
Coffee!
I might revisit it right as the stream ends. We'll take a peek. 301 bits for Pickletron. Not related. With the Proton Good Star rain. 18 months from Jaboka. Thanks to Danny for my sub gift. 23 months from Caleb.
Dang, I'm actually around to catch one of these things, Caleb said. You okay? Hurt your teeth?
Got it. Whew. My teeth are sensitive to sugar in very specific spots. Something that's relatively avoidable when eating small bites. Very difficult when eating large bites of sweet things. Because then it gets into the part that like hurts a little bit. And that hurts a little bit. Hey, Peggy. Peggy, were you the cause of my tooth pain? Zeta Program 142 says, hey, Dr. Peggy's back. Now here to treat your elbow with strange medication and some good elbow stretching and massage. Mal, hold him down. Oh, no. Does Peggy just run along?
Your arm.
Your arm? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have, my teeth have always been sensitive to cold. But in the last, like...
2 years?
2 years, my teeth have started to become sensitive to sweet. And I've been to the dentist, and the dentist are like, you don't have any cavities. And I'm like, okay. But it's sensitive to sweet. They're like, yeah. I'm like, okay. I do have gum recession from brushing too hard. And I've tried to get better at that because I don't know, just very ferociously brush my teeth.
You also switched toothpaste.
Yeah,
recently.
and that's...
Has that helped?
Overall, yes.
That's good.
Overall, yes.
And we have 1 tube left, so I will have to order more.
Yeah, overall, it's been a help. But yeah, there's like certain parts of my mouth where it's like... more sensitive than others. Interesting. Spiffle said I had to insist on microfillings and it helped a ton with sweet sensitivity. That might be something I look into at some point. That might be an option just because, like, I've dealt with it now for like 2 years and it was something that just very suddenly occurred and it sucked. Because, like, when I eat sweets, I have to eat them on like very specific parts of my mouth. It also has made me like sweets a little bit less. I still like sweets, but like I'm more inclined to go after something salty. You know, I'm like, oh, potato chips, give me potato chips instead of, you know, candy or something.
Steven, if you tried Sensodyne, that's what he uses.
Yeah. It used to be worse, for what it's worth. It used to be considerably worse. Oh, good point, Chaz. Hey, enjoy beans. Yeah, Chaz, you haven't done it in a while. I think it was your turn. It is 10. It is after 10. Okay. Sorry, I guess I keep reading. 23 months from Caleb. He says, "Dang, I'm actually around to catch one of these things. Glad you're here. Also, you nearly got the 2. Padawan Becca gifted a sub to Gucci Cheez-Its. So that's very expensive cheese crackers. Another 200 bits from Caleb. Appreciate it. 3 different Pickletron. Who says, Steven, how have you not learned after over a decade that Mal knows many things, most of which are useful? Oh, I feel like I know that. I may have temporary lapses of judgment, but for the most part, I know very, very well that Mal knows things, and I should probably just listen to whatever she says.
Like when I take apart the shower to fix it. Which I need to do, now that I have the right tools.
Yeah, you didn't fix the shower.
I know, I took it apart and then realized I needed a different tool, so I put it back together.
You broke the shower.
I didn't break it. Listen, there's a thing that prevents you from turning the handle all the way so you can limit heat for, like, kids. So they can't burn themselves. I didn't put the safety heat thing at the right spot, so I kind of limited the temperature in that shower. Accidentally, when I put it back together. But I will fix it when I take the shower apart and fix it again.
You do realize it was like 3 months ago.
I know. I've been busy.
When I take a shower
right,
now...
Brandon?
Mal dramatically reduced the functionality in the shower. Mal's response to this...
The cartridge in the shower...
I'm going to tell this story. You brought this up.
Wearing out. Mm-hmm.
You brought this up. So now I'm going to tell the story. The cartridge was wearing out, and we were having problems with the shower. So Mal opened it up to look at it, which is fair, because Mal's a handy person that I'm not. And I just don't ever deal with that sort of thing. I'd rather call someone and be like, someone else do it. Mal's like, no, I can do it.
It's easy.
Mal opens it up, looks at it, and says, we don't have the thing we need right now. I'm going to put this back. She puts it back not quite the same way that she had taken it apart. As a result, the shower cannot achieve hot water.
I mean, it couldn't before either because of the cartridge.
That's not true.
Yes, it is. That's how I knew the cartridge was going.
Well...
Now it's just less... even colder than it was
It
before.
achieved water hotter than what it's doing now. Anyway, so now what the shower does is that when you turn the handle, it doesn't go physically as far anymore.
That's because of the limiter.
And as a result, it's warmer than lukewarm. It's warmer than lukewarm, but it can't get any warmer than that. So it's fine. But my response to this was like, oh God. Mal's response was never showering in there again. So that's how you know it was a problem, is Mal was like, oh.
The cartridge on the other shower is going too.
So then Mal went and started using... So now I shower in this shower. Mal was like, yeah, that sucks. And then abandoned the shower.
You could have done that too.
So now I shower in there, and Mal's like, yeah, I don't shower in there anymore. So now she showers in the other shower. And it's like, it's fine. It's fine. It's just funny to hear you tell the story, because I'm thinking about all the parts of the story, and I'm like, you are leaving some things out. Some of the things are not in the story. Anyway, at some point, we'll get the thing, and Mal will fix it, and then it'll work.
Yeah.
At some point. Bella Bunny gifted a sub to Phil. Gamer Girl gifted a sub to The Priestess in Red. There need to be some throw down. Because Mallory liked the craft VHS and now does art stuff for a living, does this mean that in some weird alternate dimension that Mallory is a spy, and in another, she's a gardener?
I do know how to garden.
Did you ever see that movie as a kid? Harriet the Spy?
Oh, I loved that movie.
I thought that was a cool movie. I liked that. I really liked spy stuff as a kid. And I had some, like... I had a little gizmo that had, like, all of these things that, like, it folded down a lot.
A Swiss Army knife?
Well, it was kind of like a Swiss Army knife, but it wasn't a knife. It just had a bunch of, like, little gizmos and gadgets. Like, one was a compass, one was a mirror, one was a magnifying glass, but you could also open up stuff and it would turn into, like, binoculars.
My mom had Swiss Army knives. She had, like, the little normal one on her keychain, and then she had a real big one. And I just liked playing with it as a kid.
Oh. Yeah, it was kind of a multi-tool, but it was not a tool so much as it was a toy. You know, it was more for like more of a children's thing. But I just love spy. I always loved the Bond movies, even as a kid. Me and my dad would watch them, and like that element of the Bond films was always really fascinating to me. So, yeah. 26 months for Seesaw24. Hello, grandparents. Sorry I'm here late into the stream, but I don't usually get up this early, so I might as well do this. That's fair. I think there's actually a lot of people that they know the breakfast stream will be going on for a bit, so they just show up a little bit later. Because the idea really behind it is that you can start your day, unless if you're in another country, it's the middle of the day. It's fine. You start your day with or night or afternoon with some conversation. So whenever your day may start. basically. I know exactly what Dan's talking about. Dan says I had a microphone with a dish in it and I could hear far away. I know exactly what you're talking about. Dude, I had a, that reminded me, gave me a memory. I had a pen. Actually it was a series of pens. In the early to mid 90s, they made all of these series of pens that did all of these different things. One of them, I had a few of them. One of them was a radio. So it had a AM/FM radio built in. It was a pen and it had a speaker, and you could actually, and it could write. It was an actual pen, but it had a full radio in it. One of them had the tip where like an eraser would be, which it wouldn't have an eraser because it was a pen. Had a little thing that flipped out, and it was an earpiece. And what it did is you could put it in your ear, and it was like that. It would help you hear things that were far away. So it would amplify stuff that the pen was pointing to. So you could write, but then you could flip it over and put it in your ear, and you would point it at stuff, and you'd be able to hear what was going on far away. Those neat little things, and that was like early 90s. There were some other ones too, but those are the two that I remember that I had.
I got a talking watch through school. It was one of those fundraisers where you get a thing, and I could hit the button and it would tell me what time it was.
Oh man, I had. Oh my god, you're spawning all these memories now. I had some folks had this too, I'm sure, because we got Pokemon fans. Do you guys remember the big yellow Pikachu watch? And no, okay, there was this big yellow Pikachu watch, and I think it might have worked a little like a Tamagotchi. I don't know, but the thing I remember most is that it was loud as hell. If you hit the button to tell you the time and you didn't have the thing muted, it would go, "It's 4:36 p.m. Pikachu!" And it was like, when those came out, I remember being in, I guess, elementary school, and elementary school? Middle school? I don't remember when it was. I want to say elementary school was probably middle school. I remember that some of the people that, they had those, it was very quickly an issue, because they would go off like on the hour or whatever, and the teachers were very mad, and they were like, "Oh, you gotta turn that off." So yeah, because Pokemon didn't come out until I was 9, and you're in 4th grade when you're 9.
Yeah,
so
you
it
turned
had
10.
Okay, so it only had like a 2-year window that would have still been elementary school, because then it would have been middle school. So I'm not sure. Yeah. Anyway, I don't remember when that watch came out, but I had one. Teacher Solution banned the item. See, I was smart. I put mine on mute so I could keep it. You guys, I'm sure it's out there. Like, you gotta look this up on YouTube. Find this Pikachu watch. It was super, super loud and super obnoxious, but it was cute, and it had a like a dot matrix display, and it showed animations. That was the cool thing. It showed the time, but it would also show animations of like Pikachu like using Thundershock and stuff. It was really neat. 30 bits from Anne, who says, "Throwback Thursday time. Mal, steal Steven's food."
I already took some.
You already ate what we then determined was 1/3 of one Pop-Tart.
Yes.
300 from Danny X6. Half a Pop-Tart, okay, but what about 12 packs of Smarties in your mouth at once? See, that seems like a choking hazard. Because Pop-Tarts are chalky, but Smarties are far more chalky. Well, hold on, what Smarties are we talking about? U.S. Smarties or?
Yes.
Okay. U.S. Smarties are very chalky. 300 bits from Bella Bunny, who says, "My father just became eligible to make his vaccine appointment for next week. It almost doesn't feel real, but it's finally happening." It's been a long year.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that we're actually nearly there is great. It's exciting. 300 from Gold Mage. "I haven't sent a parrot fact in a while. That's not changing today. Instead, tell me which of your friends you could see becoming a giant humanoid parrot, and tell me more about the kind of parrot they are." I'm not sure if this is rude. If I'm like, this guy, he's a parrot. Who will I not offend? Chaz.
Coffee.
Thomas says, not sure if it's rude, if it's in fact rude. Yeah, actually, Tyler makes the most sense, right? That's his whole thing. His whole shtick is being a toucan. I guess Tyler wouldn't mind becoming a parrot. Tyler would be a big old toucan. And then I guess you eat cereal?
Yeah.
Is that what you do if you're a toucan? Probably. 302 bits from Ryan B, who says, Chad wants to know, what are those honking cartridges you were talking about?
Cartridges control hot versus cold ratios in... That's a cartridge, yes.
When I saw the show command, I thought Chaz
you
was
get
showing...
the hot and the cold, and it controls how much of each go. It's normally for, like, one-handed sinks.
When I saw the show command, I thought it was going to be the Pikachu watch. And when it showed up, I was like, something's wrong with this watch. That's not what the Pikachu watch looks like.
That's not... Ours is different looking, but that's what a cartridge looks like.
Neat.
I'm really happy because the wall part behind the cartridge that the cartridge sits in, a mixer tap, thank you, has off knobs back there, so I don't have to turn off the water to the house to replace it. It's real great.
Renee would also ban that watch. Yeah, it's
Would that watch end up broken? Not like broken in pieces, but like the battery taken out.
It was. I feel like you could set the watch to mute, but then also it had a button which it would just always tell you the time audibly, no matter what. I as a kid, it's funny because now I don't use a watch, but for most of my life, I used a watch. I mean, I started wearing a watch in elementary school, and then I just never stopped. It wasn't until after we were married that I finally stopped wearing a watch.
Coffee.
At some point in the future, when I either care enough about exercise or there's a compelling enough feature, I might get an Apple Watch, and then I'll finally return to the world of wearing a watch. But until then, if I need to know that, most of the time I'm at my computer, and I just know the time because I can just look into the corner. But maybe at some point, if there's something compelling about it. 305 bits for Pickletron with the Proton Hug. Star Rant, it's very cute emote. 300 bits from Marty Griff. My father's Google Watch has a button which when pressed, his phone will say, I am here. The first time my sister heard it, she was alone, and it scared the bejesus out of her. My father did it as a joke, I think. Technology has gone too far. Or not far enough. Just a little bit further.
I had a watch growing up that had a button that you could hit, and it was like a magic 8-ball, and it would tell you like yes, no, maybe.
Oh. That's neat.
And then it died, and I got another one because I liked it. It was fun.
There's probably an app. There's probably a Magic 8-Ball app now for the Apple Watch. Probably. 300 bits from Night Owl says, I definitely had the Pikachu watch, but I wasn't allowed to wear it to school because my parents didn't want me to lose it. We were allowed to bring Game Boys in on Fridays, though. Many Pokemon battles in first grade were had. That is a wild sentence. We were allowed to bring Game Boys in on Fridays. For what it's worth, I brought my Game Boy to school a lot, just in general, though. Just because... Well, we carpooled, because school was a little bit further away. And I had...
Lots of time in the car.
Yeah, so I played Game Boy a good bit. For a while, actually, I have really good memories of when the original Animal Crossing came out. Well, for the US, the GameCube version. Because my friend had a television in his van. Some folks know exactly what I'm talking about. It's a little television that sits between the two front seats. Big old CRT, well, not a big old CRT, but a 11-inch maybe? I doubt it was even 13 inch. It's a little 11-inch. Yeah, okay, people remember. And we had hooked up the GameCube to it, and I remember there were many mornings of school where I just watched my buddy play Animal Crossing and just fish. Just catch like coelacanths like on the way to school. And that was just
Was it a van with the curtains?
Yes.
Did it have a table in the back or a spot to put a table?
I think so, yes. I think so, yeah. Yeah. Big old, like the sort of thing like if the...
It sort of felt like a camper.
Yeah, it felt like a tank. Like if one of those vans were ever in a wreck, you felt bad for the other guy because the van was going to make it. It was going to make it through whatever happened. The thing was huge. Anyway. 300 bits from Marty Griff. He says, I was getting caught up on vlogs and was watching the I Want Ice Cream. It reminded me of parents who would tell their kids when you heard the music, it meant they were out of ice cream. I've never heard that, but I can see parents doing that, and that is very, very funny to me. That is very... The problem is that illusion would end. That illusion would end that the minute, like, if it stopped near the house and the kids could look out the window and see that people were, you know, rushing the truck. Hey, listen, here's the thing. I've never been a parent. And my assumption, and the thing that I've learned over the years of interacting with lots of my friends and acquaintances who are parents, is like when you're a parent, you gotta do what you gotta do. It's survival, and sometimes you gotta do little lies. You gotta make things work day to day, week to week, and that's fair. I understand. 600 bits from Padawan Baggett says, why are Swatch watches made in Switzerland and not Croatia? It took me a minute on...
Kepi wanted to use your phone.
You can't.
His phone's sitting next to it, and Kepi went, touch.
You can't do it. It took me a minute on Swatch. I've had some of those watches in the past, actually. They got the little... I was like, the little cross, and I'm like, it's the Switzerland flag is what that is. It's the...
He almost says, do you lie to Kepler?
I do. I feel less bad about it because he doesn't understand English. Although there are times where I have done things that he definitely does understand and is rude. But I've done it because, like, I just, you know. Okay, here's an example of something I've done. I'm sure other pet owners can relate a little bit. There's been times where Kep's been up here, he's been throwing a little fit, and I'm like, dude, you still have like 30 minutes until you eat. So I need to kick him out of the room. I'm gonna kick him out of the room. So what I'll do is I'll get up and I'll start walking. And when I start walking, he's like, oh my goodness. So he'll run and we'll both get to the door and he'll start going down the stairs, but I won't go down the stairs. I'll close the door. And so my thing when I do that is I try desperately to close the door before he can look back, because if he looks back, it hurts my heart. If I see him turn back to see me closing the door, that's the part that hurts. But if I can close the door before I make eye contact, then I'm okay. I'm like, nope, didn't see it.
Poor kitty.
I know.
And then he sits on the step and does not bother me. He just waits patiently on the stairs for you.
It's a patience thing. And, like, he's not starving. He literally gets fed at the same time every day.
He tries to push it, though. It'll be 90 minutes before when he needs his next food, and he starts pushing it.
Yeah.
Some days he'll wait straight to the time it needs to be, but some days he's like, no, it's 90 minutes, I need it now.
And I don't get what the particular reasoning and stuff is. It's just some days are different than others. Anyway.
That's right. Renee said, Tristan has been pushing for his food early. I dread daylight savings time. We've never been on such a strict schedule before. This will be the first daylight savings time. where we go back. Or forward, spring forward.
Yeah.
So it'll be a week before he's on the new.
It'll be okay.
Yeah.
It'll be okay. You know what I worry about?
Huh.
At some point in the future, when we are able to travel again, and my parents are taking care of him, you know, they can't be over here every 4 hours.
No.
You know, to feed him.
He did fine last time.
I mean, it's not like he has a choice.
No.
Food will show up when it shows up. Otherwise, you gotta wait. You gotta wait. 500 bits from Padawan Becca. What time is it? I don't know. Wait, let me look at my crotch walk. Jeff Dunham bit. I haven't seen a whole lot of Dunham. A little bit, but not a whole lot. Did I say I was gonna try the?
Chez is reminding you of what's coming up.
Double Pikmin Madness videos today.
My video and your video.
Oh yeah, I was like, what does he mean? Why? I don't know what he means. Is that Mallory's full version is going to be released right after breakfast stream within a amount of time. If it takes longer than like a few minutes, like you hold it against her. She's the one who clicks the buttons. And then yeah, Pikmin will continue to release today. Pikmin's coming out, and
we're recording Pikmin, so.
And we're recording Pikmin, and since Bowser's Fury is done tonight at 6, Extra Life returns with Wii Music. Somewhere, Carlos smiles. Carlos smiles. And that's it.
That's it.
That's it. Tomorrow night, I hope that you will join us at 8 p.m. Eastern for the continuation of
Breath of the Wild.
Zelda Breath of the Wild. And that's it. I don't think I have really anything else to announce. I hope that all of you have a fantastic Thursday. If your week has not been great so far, I hope that it looks up here at the end of the week. And yeah, some fun stuff coming up this weekend.
Yeah.
Breath of the Horse cycle tomorrow. It's true. It's true. Dun 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 dun.